Do you know why I'm always ranting about getting your website shite together? It's because you cannot control the real estate known as social media, but you can control your own website. Plus, a solid website makes you look like a legitimate and serious musician, singer, songwriter, composer, performer, creator of musical things. If you don't yet have a solid website, please check out Bandzoogle. It was created by musicians for musicians. I'm a long-time WordPress designer, so there really was no reason for me to move my artist website over to Bandzoogle. But you know what? I did. I wanted to check it out for myself. And you know what? It's as easy to use as it gets, and you don't have to worry about all that maintenance and care stuff that comes with having your own website. The features and support are both incredible. See for yourself. Go to bandzoogle.com to start a 30-day free trial and use the promo code RABONZO to get 15% off your first year. Plans start at just $8.29 a month. That's bandzoogle.com, promo code RABONZO, ROBONZO, to start your free trial today. This episode is powered by ConvertKit. More than just an email marketing company, ConvertKit is focused on landing pages too, in order to give beginner creators the ability to build a quick website and start gathering email addresses. I've been using ConvertKit since early 2016. My, how time flies. ConvertKit's free plan allows creators to make unlimited landing pages and forms. Choose from multiple templates, add personalization and design, include an incentive email, create a thank you page, manage subscribers, and send broadcast emails. Plus, you'll get access to the ConvertKit community page where you can join groups, follow topics, post questions and comments, and interact with other creators. To connect with your audience and make a living doing the work you love with ConvertKit, go to the show notes for this episode or unstarvingmusician.com/ConvertKit. Let's do the show. Greetings, my kings and queens of pop. Welcome to another episode. I'm your host, Rabonzo. On this podcast, I have conversations with independent music artists and industry professionals intended to help indie artists be better at marketing, business, the creative process, and all the other things that empower us to do more of what we love, make music. Do you want to help others find this podcast? You can do so by subscribing on Apple Podcasts or wherever you get your favorite podcasts. It really does help. The Unstarving Musician podcast is made possible through the generosity of listeners like you. One of the easiest ways to offer support is to join the Unstarving Musician community, and you can do so by going to unstarvingmusician.com and join right there on the homepage. As a member, you'll receive from me tips and lessons you can use in your music journey, and this is not just stuff coming from me and my years of experience as a gigging musician, but also from the hundreds of other musicians I've talked to as part of this project and podcast. You'll also get a free copy of the Unstarving Musician's Guide to Getting Paid Gigs ebook, and that is all free just for being part of the community. To learn more about the other ways of offering your support, please visit our sponsor page at unstarvingmusician.com/crowd-sponsor. So what'd you have for breakfast?
So pretty much, without fail, I have peanut butter and banana on wheat bread.
That sounds good. That's my guest, Kendal Conrad. She is a singer, songwriter, and she has done a lot of cool things, including singing a duet with Keith Urban, a gig at the Whitehouse. She's sang the national anthem for Major League Baseball, NBA, MMA, NASCAR, and NBC's National Dog Show. She's opened for country artists Blake Shelton, Charlie Daniels Band, Devin Dawson, Drew Baldridge, Alabama, Walter Hayes, and more. And a bunch of cool other stuff, too, which you can read about on KendalConrad.com, KendalConrad.com. We talk about some fun personal stuff that I was curious about, and my thoughts on country, rock bands, and pop. Everybody wants to know what I think about that stuff. But also about her current release strategy, also live video performing, music distribution in the streaming world, and reconnecting with her reasons for getting into music in the first place. I joked with her after the recorded conversation that I could have easily continued for another hour. I suppose she's easy to talk to. Maybe I was in a good mood. I'm reminded that things aren't so bad in the pandemic era. Thanks, Kendal. Here is me and Kendal Conrad. All right, are you ready?
Let's do it.
All right. Well, hey, Kendal, first I want to say thank you for being accessible.
Yeah, of course. Are people not usually accessible?
You know, I was just thinking about it today. So I remember running across you, I guess, on the Instagram, and I was like, wow, you know, she's pretty good. She's really good. And I'm looking at your work, and you're kind of, you know, killing it on social. And I start looking around, you know, poking into your accounts. I'm like, oh, cool. I can actually contact her directly. But, you know, there's a couple things. I've been trying to talk to higher artists that are, you know, I guess, I hate to say this, sounds so bad, but I'm an independent podcaster. I need all the help I can get, right? But I'm trying to have artists on who have more social influence and are, you know, and reaching out to some that are better known, right? Mm-hmm. And, you know, I'm looking at you, and you just seem like you've got it all going on. And I'm like, oh, how cool. And you got right back to me. And that was nice anyway, yeah. So I know, you know, and as I was thinking of telling you that today, saying thanks for being accessible, I know that you do some of your work in Nashville, and I'm thinking, well, you probably think that you're a dime a dozen amidst the crowd of talented artists that are there. And I know you probably don't think that of yourself, but it's kind of crazy, right? There's so many talented people just in that one area.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot of people.
So you were telling me you bounce between your hometown. Is that Pottstown, PA?
Yes.
And Nashville. Yep. So is there a music scene in or around or near Pottstown?
Not particularly in Pottstown. Like I'm super close to Philly. So Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. I'm so used to saying Philly.
That's right. Everybody knows what Philly is.
You never know. There's a Philadelphia, Mississippi, I think.
Oh, wow. Yeah, sure.
Yeah. So they, you know, obviously there's a big music scene there, but no, not necessarily in Pottstown. I kind of leave to go to other musical hotspots.
When you're going to do a gig, do you just sort of like jokingly tell yourself, I can't play in this crap town. I got to go to PA. I got to go to Philly. Just kidding. Well,
there's a lot of really great restaurants in this area that I play at. And everyone's really supportive of me here, but it's not like a music scene where you can go play. You know what I mean? It's like where it's a listening room or a club or where it's set up where people are watching you like a show.
Sure.
It's mostly like background music, which is great. Like they all pay very well. This is all I do for work, which right now kind of sucks because all the restaurants are closed.
Yeah.
But no, the music scene for at least like commercial music, it's not a very big deal here, specifically in Pottstown. But like I said, Philly and Lehigh Valley, I gig a lot, and that's where they have Music Fest. The PPL Center is there. They have the Arts Quest building with the Music Fest Cafe, and they have shows there year round. And I play a lot of gigs up there.
So before I ask you about the history of Music Fest, if anybody just got ruffled by my whatever I said about Pottstown, I'm sure it's a lovely place. And actually, I was looking at. I only said that because I assume it's small. I was looking at the population numbers. And I was like, wow, this is like that lovely town of Arlington, Texas that I grew up in so many years ago.
It is. It's small, but it's not like a one-stoplight town, but we're like not big either. And everyone gets us confused with Pottsville, which is Yangling beer. And I always have to correct people. And I'm like, no, we're not known for that, you know, huge beer company. This is the other Pottstown.
Pottstown.
Yeah. So we have a movie theater. And we have a movie theater.
Wow.
So, yeah. So this is, yeah. That's about it.
I think we might have had a couple of movie theaters.
Yeah.
In Arlington. Or I know there was a drive-in nearby, probably in the neighboring booming metropolis of Grand Prairie. And actually, both of those towns are huge now. But, you know.
It's on my bucket list to go to a drive-in movie theater. They have one, actually. They have two, I think, in the Lehigh Valley. So
well, they're all the rage now, right?
I know. I'm going to go this summer.
You should do it. I want to see, some pixies on the Instagram when you do. So.
Oh yeah, and 100%. It's going to be an iconic moment for me.
So I'm trying to learn some stuff about you by trolling your socials today.
Okay.
And so hopefully I won't ask you the same boring stuff everyone does. I might ask you one or two of those, but I'll bring up a couple things that brought my attention.
Okay.
You're self-proclaimed romantic, and I bring it up because I'm a self-proclaimed wannabe romantic. I've been married for, thank God my wife's not in the room, over 25 years.
Aww.
Right? Yeah. Yeah, I think that's right. So I think, not that it's hard, to it's not hard, right, to be romantic with your wife of 25 years. But, I find myself on occasion going, what can I do to bring some romance in or to make my wife feel appreciated in that way? So anyway, tell me about your self-proclamation.
So I don't know, even since I was a kid, like I don't know, I like the magic of romance. Like even the cartoon Disney movies where, I know I'm a feminist and I know all those movies are now kind of frowned upon where the prince rides in on a white horse and saves the girl. But, there's something nostalgic and, like I said, magical. And I don't know, I've always enjoyed that about romance itself, and how you can find someone who remembers all the stupid little things you say in passing and then like surprises you with your favorite dinner, your favorite flower, remembers that you had a big meeting, next Tuesday, and they text you and call you about it and like stuff like that. So it's just about finding someone, I guess, who knows you very well. And maybe it's because I'm an introvert and it's it's very uncomfortable for me to try and talk to people. That idea of someone who's just by your side, like forever, and knows you well. I always like that idea about romance.
Yeah, sure. I get it.
Do you feel that way about your wife?
Well,
if someone like hit you with a bunch of questions about her, you'd be able to answer.
Well, I definitely would have an opinion on them. I don't know if I'd have an answer for everything. I don't know how many I'd get right. So it would be fun for her to listen to what my answers were if I did get a bunch of those. But
yes, that's true.
That's
funny.
I was thinking, do you know this? I'm going to forget the title, and I'm even going to forget the important number in the title, but it's like the 5 languages of love or the 7 languages of love. Mm-hmm. I do this whole, I don't want to pass myself off as a big romantic, but in the times that I think about that I think about these things and I want to do something like that for her, I was remembering as you're telling me your reasons for feeling like a romantic that my wife is more of a I can't even remember the name of the language, her love language, but she really enjoys my doing stuff with her. And I see that right now that we're in the lovely quarantine situation we're in when we walk the dog, which is a ritual around here. I've noticed more now how much she likes for me to be with them. Like occasionally one of us will go, "Can you walk?" And I'm going to do dishes, or I'm not up for it, which it happens less and less. But she loves for me to go to the grocery store with her. I think many people and most guys would probably go, "Oh my God." And it took me a lot of years to be able to go and just like deal, because I didn't like that for the long. I don't like love it, but anyway. So that's her.
Yeah, it's just I agree. It's just like a showing you care.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. Like especially if she knows that you hate it and you go anyway. that's bonus points.
Right. Well, I do what I can
in the romance department. Yeah, if you if you really despise sushi and like you take her out for like some sushi, it's like, wow, this guy's amazing. That kind of thing.
Exactly.
Romance is dead. Romance is dead.
Yeah, so I think what I'm realizing is the romance is all about me now.
Yeah, exactly. It's up to you to create it.
All right, so the other thing that caught my attention, and surely you get asked about this one a lot, but I have a specific question, but it's about pancakes.
Okay.
So if I ask you about mixes, are you going to say, dude, no? Or if I ask you about it, do you have one to recommend?
I really like, I think it's called Birch Benders. It's a little bit on the pricey side. I think you can get it at like Target and stuff, but
That's kind of an oxymoron.
Yeah, no, like these, if you looked at the size of this pancake mix, like what you get for the price, it's kind of pricey. It's like a little bag but I think it's like organic or no preservatives, one of those things.
Free range.
Yeah. You know it.
Fair trade.
And then the other one I like, which I think is a little bit higher in sugar, is the Kodiak mixes. Yeah. And it has a big bear on the front, like a Kodiak bear, and they're like protein. It's like a protein pancake mix. So you get like 15 grams of protein and fiber and stuff in this pancake mix. And they come in like honey oat and double chocolate chip, and they're really good.
All right. I'm going to look for those. I probably have to get them online or so. Actually, so I live in
stores.
I say this too much well, let me tell you why. I live in Panama currently. So my wife and there's a place that will order pretty much any of these kind of things that we want. So I was just, after I said, I was thinking I'm going to have to order it online, but actually I'll just ask them to order it. So
do it.
I will.
You will, and then I want to know which one you like better after you compare them. All
right, I'm committed to both. Now, I went looking. I thought that like a brand I see around here, I think it's called Bob's Mill or Bob's Mills.
Oh, yes. I haven't tried the pancake mix, but I've used that brand before.
Okay,
for like flour and stuff.
Yeah, so I think they have a pancake mix, but
they do.
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
But I probably have seen it here, but I could not find it lately. But I don't know if it's like this in Pottsville or Nashville, but like the grocery stores are a little off kilter, so not everything that they carry is there. You know what I mean?
But the like specialty items are like all there.
That's true. Money.
Like what you can't get is like ground meat and eggs.
True, bacon.
But the like Birch Bender's specialty pancake mix, that should be there.
All right. Yeah, I'm going to laugh if I actually see it. The other store that would have it's actually been closed for a while. But all right, people who are going like, I thought this was a music podcast.
It's all relevant.
I'm telling you, it is.
Pancakes and romance make great songs.
I don't know what. Yes. You know what? And that's probably something that my wife would somehow squeeze into her romance list, because I brought home some pancake mix because she loves pancakes, and I don't know if it's because she knows that I like them less, or she just like doesn't want to deal with making them, or doesn't think she does them well, but I'm like, I'll make you some pancakes, baby. So I went and got some. I haven't done it yet. I guess I'm doing it this weekend though, but I just bought some pancake mix this week.
Well, so you've been holding out then. Like, what kind did you get?
I don't even know. I don't think it's anything.
Man.
Actually, I'll tell you later when I go look at it.
I need to know this, and I need to know how they were.
All right, or if you see the brand and go, dude, no, put that in the trash.
Okay. No, I wouldn't do that to you because you bought them already. I would just keep my opinion to myself at that point.
So I'm gonna ask you about something that you have clearly been asked about a gazillion times, and I don't know how I'm gonna get any. Maybe you can. So maybe I'll preface it with this. If you tell me something about it that you don't think you've shared with anyone yet, if that's possible. But I was gonna ask you about the event of singing a duet with Keith Urban, and that was for people that are listening who maybe don't know who you are. But you sang a duet with Keith Urban, and the video of that's really cool. The story of that is very cool, and he sounds like a really nice guy based on the story that you tell about it. But I was thinking of a recent guest that I had who a super talented singer, and he was invited to sing backup with a small number of other singers, 2 or 3 maybe, for Christina Aguilera. And he said when she walked out into rehearsal or on stage or whatever it was, he was just almost lost it, right? But you seemed well. I understand you don't get nerves except when you do sing the anthem somewhere, and I totally get that. But if it wasn't nerves, well, you can tell me if there were any nerves in this case. But is there anything that you haven't shared with anyone publicly about that performance yet?
Interesting. Not that the whole thing was a blur, but like it's kind of like when you're looking forward to something forever and it feels like it's taking forever for the event or for the thing to happen. And then that day finally happened, and it happened so fast. Like, we get there, we sound checked. I can't remember if I've said this before or not, but we shared the other side of I say we, meaning my mom and I took my mom with me. But we got to share half of a trailer with Brett Eldridge. That was like our dressing room. So that was pretty cool.
Wow.
Yeah. And so we did that. We hung out, sound checked, got to meet Keith, and then sang with him, got to watch the rest of the show. And like it happened, it was like an entire day, but it happened so fast. It's crazy that the things that you look forward to and you hype yourself up about, like you want it to last forever. And it almost now feels like it was such a small blip. But at the same time, it was like a huge career highlight for me at the same time. So it's very weird, but no, I don't think there was anything that I'm holding out on about what happened that day.
Was there anything that you did or that you imagined or joked about doing to make the moment last a little longer?
No, it was just kind of like the songs that they write, the romantic songs that they write songs about, where it's like, can't we make this night last forever kind of thing? And you can't. And it's just a memory that I'll keep forever. Best night of my life.
We saw, my wife and I watched, from a viewing standpoint, I love what they did, but from a viewing standpoint, overall it was a disappointment. But we watched the One World concert that Lady Gaga put together. Mm-hmm. And did you see any of it?
I watched a clip of Taylor Swift's performance, but I can't remember if I watched any more of that. I watched all of the iHeartMedia one with Elton John. Okay. But I don't know if I watched any more of the Lady Gaga one.
So, well, yeah. So we saw a number of artists, and I was like, "Oh my God, did these people not have anyone they could have called to help them set this up?" My favorite example was Paul McCartney. I think he had his, a keyboard on the kitchen counter that you couldn't see, and he's just playing in his kitchen. I'm like, well, A, I thought your kitchen would look a little more fabulous, and B, that sounds horrible. But Keith Urban clearly set up to do this kind of thing. He did a pretty whimsical video presentation of himself playing in a band, like playing multiple instruments.
Oh, I didn't see it. I'll have to check it out.
Yeah, I'm sure, probably on the YouTube, but it was pretty funny. Afterwards, I was like, okay, it was a bit much, but it was funny. It was funny, and he's really good too. But he went, he's clearly gone the extra mile to be able to produce those things on the fly. At least that's my assumption. So good for him.
Yeah, he's amazing.
You know what? I'm going to make a confession, but I don't even really like country music that much, but he's pretty damn good.
Keith is more, I don't know. He's not completely got 2 feet in country.
Right.
He's a little bit rock, a little bit pop.
Yeah.
He's been experimenting a lot recently too. So
yeah.
You're allowed.
And I recognize it. And for any haters or people that have been on the podcast, I actually do listen to some of the new country, and I try to listen to some of the old because I am a huge fan of the Rolling Stones, and they, as you may know, dabbled in country, and they actually had some good teachers. So I tried to go back and listen to what they were inspired by, which is some of the way back artists. But I actually appreciate a lot of what's going on. When I was a young person, though, I think I just kind of hanging on to this hatred for country music that I had as a young person. It may have been because all the country music at that time was really horrible, but...
Well, I noticed that I think I have an ear for pop anything. So I like pop rock, like pop country, pop R&B. Like if it's got a pop bent to it, I'll listen to any genre and love it.
Sure. And it's not even fair of me to say, I'm kind of, being a little funny, but it's not even fair of me to say that I don't like country because it is a genre of pop, as you put it, and I kind of try to blanket music as pop. What I really love is rock bands. I really love rock bands. There's not many of them around anymore, any big ones, but...
No, the genre, it's like romance. It's like, it's dead.
Right? It really is. Dead and dying, but that's pop to me at a certain level. At a certain level, it's no longer pop, but anyway, I'll leave that
Interesting.
alone. I'll leave that alone. Yeah. So it looks like you are relatively active on IGTV, and I haven't really talked to anyone about this, and maybe I'm exploring it in a clueless manner, but tell me, are you? Maybe you're just kind of getting into it. Are you experimenting? Where are you at? Do you like it? Are you going to do some more?
Well, I started using it just because in the old Instagram format, it made you crop or clip or trim or whatever they're calling it, your video if it was over a minute?
Something like that.
Yeah. And so especially with my own original music, like covers, people know the song. You can get away with just putting a minute clip up. And then for my originals, I wanted people to hear the whole song. And I realized that you could go into that IGTV and post the whole thing in its entirety as a post. So I'll definitely keep using it. I think it's a great feature.
I'm glad to hear that. I'm going to watch what you do. So it looks like they still are like portrait mode only, right? They don't really, it's not conducive to having your camera set up for a landscape shot. I was looking at one of yours. I'm like, why do they do that?
No, I think I shoot all of my stuff in landscape.
And so it's there, but isn't it framed? Well, I'm gonna go look, but
no, you're right. The cover of the IGTV video is always portrait.
Yeah.
And then you click on the video, and my video is landscape. So I don't understand why they do that. I think it needs to fit in the box or something. I'm not sure.
Yeah, and when you go see the video, are you seeing it landscape in a portrait box?
Yeah, like when I go on my own page, I'm like, there's the portrait cover shot that you can pick out of the video, and it screenshots it, and that's the cover of the video, and there it is in portrait, and you click on it, and it's landscape. So,
okay.
Yeah.
Go look again.
It's very strange.
Because I was going to rag on them. Good.
No,
right
it still it still keeps it in landscape. It just looks like it's not. It's very weird.
Yeah, that's BS Instagram. Maybe they'll change it one of these days. All right, hold on. I'm not going to edit this out, but I'm going to turn on an air conditioner, and it might beep in case someone's wondering. But okay, there it was.
Okay. It's cold and rainy here, so
it is humid in the jungle, as I tell my my family. Hot and warm and humid.
That sounds so nice right now because it's been so cold here.
Wow. What's the temperature?
I think last week it went down into the 30s. Isn't that insane?
Yes.
It's unseasonably cold here. Today I think it will hit in the 50s if it hasn't, which is wow, crazy.
Yeah, that'll be nice. My wife and I are soft now because we've been in the tropics for about 3 years, going on 4 years.
Oh, nice.
And we go anywhere, and it's no matter what the weather is, if you go somewhere in the U.S., you're going to get cold because if it's hot, you're going to be blasted by air conditioner when you walk. If you're me,
yep.
You're going to be blasted by air conditioner when you go in somewhere. But, oh, yeah, that sounds freezing.
Yeah, I don't like the cold, so I'm hoping and praying that this... the quarantine is over soon.
I will hope and pray for you.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
So to finish up on IGTV, is there anything in particular about it that you're excited about, or are you in experiment mode with it right now?
I just think that I'll keep using it for my original songs. for people to hear them in their entirety. And it keeps the quality of the video too, which is great. So it's like crystal clear, because sometimes when I upload stuff to Twitter and Facebook, the quality goes down of the video, which is strange. But Instagram always keeps the quality. So yeah, I'll definitely use it for more originals coming soon.
Good to know. Well, speaking of originals, so I gathered you've been writing for a while, but I see 2 releases, Come to Your Senses and Leader of the Pack, both from last year, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they both sound great.
Thank you. I'm glad. Which one do you like better?
I'm inclined to say Leader of the Pack, but
me too.
I really need to kind of give Come to Your Senses another listen and give it a chance, because I might say, I don't know, they're both pretty good. It's kind of hard.
Okay. They're different vibes. They're both. It depends on your mood.
Yeah, they are. That is the thing about them. So what's up? So you've been writing, I bet you have a catalog of at least 50 or 100 songs that you haven't published, or at least I can't see. What's the deal?
Yeah, so just because like you can write a ton doesn't mean that you have money to produce and demo all of these songs. So people are like, when are you going to get these songs done? Or like, when can we hear them? And I'm like, it's thousands of dollars to get a good even demo done of your song, especially if, like me, I don't produce my own demos, and I have no idea how to mix or engineer or do any of that. So I have to, I have to pay everyone to do everything. I can only play guitar and sing, and that's it. I have no idea how to get a good vocal, recording. I have no idea. So it sucks that like you can just keep writing and have a drawer of like amazing original songs that you love, and it's like I don't have the money to get them produced. So I was really excited to finally put out these 2 songs off of my 5-song EP. So I have 3 more produced and ready to go that I've just been sitting on.
Sweet. What are you sitting on them for?
I
should say, why are you sitting on them?
I don't like to crowd the releases.
Sure.
Especially because I'm a perfectionist, and I picked these 5 songs for a reason. And these were the 5 that I wanted people to hear from me out of my whole catalog. And so when I put out the first one, I just really wanted it to have its own moment, and I didn't want to like rush out another release immediately afterward. So I just felt like now would be a good time to, I just segued. That was a beautiful segue. Did you see that?
Yeah.
Did you witness that?
I did.
God, wow.
Very nice.
It's like professionalism here. So I thought right now would be a great time to put out a new single. So I'm putting out another single May 22nd.
That's soon.
It is very soon. Yeah. I was going to make it a surprise, but surprise.
I had an artist on here that just came to my head. So today is May 1st, 2020, for anyone listening in the future.
Okay.
She had a new release coming out like last month. Mm-hmm. And then it was, and then the stupid pandemic hits, and it's delayed, and it's delayed. It came out today, so I haven't gotten to listen to it yet. But anyway, so for you had things timed such that hopefully it's going to come out on the 22nd like you intended to. Now, was that the original, like, is this the first date that you've either decided or whatever made public and it's going to happen, or did you have things move around at all because of what's going on?
So I was trying to get plans together for a Leader of the Pack music video, and I need to like scout locations and go and look at stuff and then film obviously at that location. And obviously all of that isn't going to work right now. So that was the original plan. So that's getting put way, way on the back burner. And in lieu of that, I decided to put out this next single just because I feel like it's been since the end of October when I put out Leader. So I just feel like it's time. It's been so long. So I'm excited to put out another song.
I'm excited for you.
Thank you.
Before you tell me something that we can latch on to about the new single, what at this point in time, what are you feeling is the appropriate amount of space between releases, and what do you base that on?
Interesting. I feel like maybe 4 months, 3 to 4 months for me is good. But at the same time, I was getting a lot of press, I should say, maybe with Leader, just because it was kind of anthemic and it's a big song. Not that Come to Your Senses wasn't, but it's really bitey and edgy. And I got a lot of feedback from it. And I didn't want to, like I said earlier, I didn't want to rush release another song because it's been 4 months, especially if people were still listening to Leader of the Pack and discovering it. So I think it all depends on the artist and what they want to do. But again, like I didn't want to crowd it. So that's why I've waited this long to put out the next song.
Sure. And in a normal world, what would you have done for the video? So you talked about all the things that needed to be done, but what would you have done in terms of release timing for Leader of the Pack, for instance?
So I've been reaching out to not necessarily wolf sanctuaries, but like zoos and things like that who would be open to me bringing in someone with a camera and filming their wolves, or would I be allowed to sit next to one? Or that was a big piece of this video that I wanted. And then we were going to kind of write a story around that wolf footage. And so I didn't even really have a release date in mind because this would have been my first music video. So I was going to learn the process of making the video myself at this point, and I'm not sure how long it takes or how long it would take the videographer to edit the footage or get the footage out or contracts or anything like that. So I only knew that I started the research process the end of February, early March. And after that, I had no idea of a timeline, just that I was going to somehow get it done this year and move forward with it. So
it would have been on the tail of the single release. It was just a follow-up, yeah?
Right.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Mm-hmm.
Do you... well, in a normalish world, would you do the same for the forthcoming single as far as timing? And is that really kind of just a logistics thing for you? It's like, I can only manage a couple things. I mean, well, I can manage so much at once, not to say you can't manage multiple things at once, but, I can get this single out and then I can work on the video. But, yeah, would you have a little space between the two, the video and the song, or would you ever try and do them together?
If I was excited about the video and it was done and, it was July.
Which video?
The Leader of the Pack video.
Okay.
I mean, I might put it out for sure. But again, it's like these moments that you get as an artist, you have to take them and really like baby them. So I think definitely because I'm putting out the next single the end of this month, the end of May, I would definitely wait a few months before I did anything video-wise with Leader. Now with this next single, I have no idea. I'm just going to put it out and see what happens and then decide maybe if I'll do a video or not. There's so many choices.
Are you working with a PR agency or management that helps you with any of this stuff, or are you just you kind of still figuring this aspect of it out?
So I had a publicist on the releases for my first two singles, and I'll also have a publicist working with me on this new release. But it's not like it's just a working relationship for the single release, if that makes any sense. Yeah. So I'm not like exclusively signed with anyone yet. But they're awesome. They're a huge help in scheduling and organizing my calendar and that kind of thing. So yeah, so it would be very hard to do. I mean, I would do it on my own, but it's hard to organize everything on your own.
Yeah. When is you said May 22nd will be the single release date, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So I'm sitting here contemplating. Is this worth asking? Because I'm trying to visualize when your episode will be out. I think it'll be out pretty fast, probably before the 22nd. So I'll ask. And if for no other reason, just for me or someone else maybe who listens to this and hasn't heard the single at the time. But what can you give me a teaser about the single? Yeah.
A teaser.
Can be anything. I don't care.
Okay. I don't know if this says anything at all, but I can say that it is literally 100% nothing like the first 2 songs I put out.
That's cool. I like that.
Yeah. You're going to listen to it and be like, wow, this is way different.
She's growing.
You're going to be like, wow, this came out of nowhere kind of thing. So I'm excited for people to hear it.
No, that's good. I have a friend who's been in the business a long time, and he gave me a sneak preview of his what'll be his second ever, solo album. And, he said to him, he gave me the sense that for him, it is really important to try to change and grow constantly.
Mm-hmm.
So that can mean a lot of different things for an artist. I realize when I listen to it, it's different. It's not dramatically different, but being dramatically different is not easy either. So I look forward to hearing what you pull off.
Well, I can send you a little sneak peek preview. Yeah, I'll message it to you after we're done talking.
Oh, cool.
Yeah,
you're very
don't post it.
Very
anywhere,
trusting. Though. No, I won't. I promise.
Me and myself and my legal team of me will come after you.
Pounce all over the podcast. All right.
We're real scary.
All right. No worries here. I'm easily scared. I noticed that you. I just spoke with. I think I was just ranting with you about the interview that went sideways, and I redid it, and then it was.
Oh yeah.
Yep. So. In between the 2 conversations I had with this artist, she released a single, and I was asking her about DistroKid because she had chosen DistroKid for helping her with distribution, and I see that you're using them as well. Mm-hmm. I don't know how easy it is to switch, if that's even a thing, but did you use DistroKid for both of your current singles? What do you think of it? Why did you choose it?
Yeah, so I've used them for both of my singles. Did she like them or did she not? Did she have a bad?
No. Her reasons were, and this was super new to her, and I'm sure it was super new to you not too long ago, mm-hmm. But she said, I know that the cost was part of it and the ease of doing it. And she read some stuff, and I think they just came recommended, so.
Yeah, they came recommended to me as well. Someone in the industry told me to use them. Mm-hmm. And so I looked them up and I checked them out, and it's like a one-time fee mm-hmm. for multiple releases for the year, mm-hmm. which is great. They don't take any of your royalties from you. You keep 100%, which is great. And then you can go into the website, into your account, and edit the credits. You can put the lyrics in. You can pick and choose which stores you want them to distribute to digitally. It's really cool. So I, knock on wood, have not had any problems with them yet. And I think it's a pretty great distributor. I know, because I've read online some horror stories about them that I have never experienced yet.
Oh, really?
Interesting. Yes.
Somebody's always got a horror story.
Yeah. And so I read them and I was like, maybe these people are just being dramatic. I don't know. But I'm on my third release with them, so I don't have any complaints yet. Knock on wood.
Yet. Well, keep me posted. I want to know how it goes.
Yeah, I will for sure.
So speaking of horror stories, I had on here to ask you if you had any horror movie recommendations.
Oh.
And let me tell you, I don't watch a lot of them. I love them. I say I love them, but I have watched a handful in my life. So, obviously that says I like quality. But I don't mind, the campy humor in there too. They're just, there's a lot of bad ones to me. Maybe because the ones that you can only you can take yourself seriously in a horror movie, but you can push the envelope of taking yourself too seriously super easy. And I think those are the ones I tend to not like. But
yeah, I mean, I don't like the ones that are cliche. Like, I never care for, like the haunting ones. They're all so similar. And like, if you've seen one exorcism, you've seen all of them, with this.
I forgot about that one.
Yeah. It's like, they're all, I mean, the Exorcist was iconic, but I mean, all the stigmata, it's like, you see it coming a mile away, and there's no twist. It's basically they exorcise the demon, blah, 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 blah. Like, I don't really like those. I like the smart, horror movies.
And are there any recent ones? That's what I think. I should have added that. Is there anything that's come out in recent history that I don't know why? I just like always love checking out newer things, but yeah.
There's one on Netflix that if you can get through it, it descends into like you're going to be like, oh my god, it gets kind of gory. I forget what the heck it's called, but it's about two violinists. I'll have to message it to you after we're done here. It's on Netflix. And it had a killer ending, and I was like, wow, that was really smart horror.
Do send me the title.
Yeah.
I'd like to check that out.
Yeah. And I remember it specifically because it's about two classical violinists. And I was like, that setup in itself for a horror movie is different to me.
Sure.
And it's two female violinists, and that's how the movie starts. And I'm like, wow, this is interesting. And one plays, I forget if she plays like the cello, or they're both at this academy and they go on a trip or something. I'll send it to you, but it's good, but it gets gory.
All right. I look forward to that recommendation. So, and I guess lastly,
it's not gore just for blood. Like, it's got a really, really good plot. And
then do you have any, I know you do, but what are your kind of horror movie Hall of Famers or one, whatever?
Ooh. I love Stephen King.
Yeah, sure.
I'm not sure how often his books translate well to movies. I love his novels probably more than his films. So I love Stephen King. And then probably my all-time favorite is The Ring.
Oh, yeah.
Which is a weird choice. I think it's even PG-13. It's not even rated R.
Yeah, my wife and I saw that in the last few years, and it's been out quite a while, right?
Yeah, Naomi Watts.
And yeah, we thought it was pretty good. Yeah.
I
forgot about it, but yeah, it was good.
She crawls out of the TV and murders people. And it's like, that sounds so dumb, but I like the process of her like uncovering the story behind the girl, and that one had a plot. It wasn't just kind of generic scares. So those are the kind that I like. And I really love the Nicole Kidman movie, The Others.
I'm not sure if we've seen that one.
Oh, you gotta watch that.
I will look for it. Wouldn't see. I forget. You have to, at a point in your life, you've seen so many movies, like you can get halfway through and go, I think we've seen this one before.
Oh my god, it must have been bad then.
No, I'm not kidding. I've seen. It only speaks a little bit to my age, the amount of pot I smoked when I was young. I don't know, but I've seen so many movies. I'm literally like, we'll get through them and forget. Like, oh, we saw this. I mean, my wife does it too. She didn't even smoke pot when she was a kid.
I've done it a couple times as well, and I've never smoked pot. So
good for you. All right. What else was I going to ask you about? We've covered everything: pancakes, horror movies.
The essentials.
Well,
the most important topics.
The obvious one to ask. You were gigging a lot, and now you're not for the moment. What have you been doing? What are you thinking about doing? And is there anything that you wish you knew how to do that you want to be doing?
Well, recently I've been just Facebook Living and putting up my virtual tip jar links from Venmo and PayPal. And that's, as far as gigging wise, that's kind of what I've been doing. And it's literally been saving my life. It's just given me a sense of purpose, and honestly, it keeps me playing and singing, which is what I love to do. So thank God for these Facebook Live shows that I can do. and still reach my friends and my fans on my page. And then at the same time, it's like, if I say picked up a second job, to cover the money that I've lost from my live gigs, my actual, like, going to a place live gigs, I don't even know what I would do that is open and accepting people. There's nothing else to do. Like, I can't be a waiter. Like, that's done too. Like, anything that I would do is like closed. So it's just scary right now. And I'm not even sure when the restaurants are going to open. It's like my whole livelihood. And I'm sure the restaurants themselves are thinking that too. And we're going into summer. It's when all the patios are opening, and it just sucks.
So what is the situation for reopening where you are?
I forget what they just made, like an announcement about it in Pennsylvania, and it's going to be like certain counties are allowed to open and the harder hit counties are going to stay closed. And my county was one of the hardest hit. So I assume we're not going to be reopening with everyone else. And it's in like 3 phases or something. And phase 1 isn't even restaurants opening. So I have no idea how long this is going to take.
Wow.
Yeah.
It seems kind of different everywhere in the U.S. I have family in Houston, in Dallas-Fort Worth, in Nashville. And then, and I have a lot of friends in Santa Clara County in California, which was possibly one of the worst, well, except for New York, obviously, but one of the worst hit areas in the in there in the San Francisco Bay Area. So it's different everywhere. Hopefully no one's sick of hearing me say this. I don't know that I've said it that many times yet, but so in Panama, they can just nationwide mandate something. They don't have all these rogue state governments, doing their own thing. But we've been under, for about 6 weeks, quarantine. We are permitted to go out on specific days in specific time windows based on in my case, like the last digit of your passport.
Really?
We're legal residents here. And literally not everything, but most things are shut down. Restaurants can do delivery and takeout, I guess, but the getting out for that time window is for grocery shopping, pharmacy, and medical or vet needs for the most part. And
wow.
they won't even, you can't even travel between, like, say, Panama City and the beach areas where I'm at. They've restricted that. And lately they've been, so, I'm supposed to have 3 days a week. They kind of changed it up a little bit. So I'm supposed to be able to go out on Tuesday, Thursday, Saturdays. Well, for the past 3 weeks now, this weekend included coming, everybody's got to stay indoors Saturday and Sunday. And
oh man.
So we're really fortunate. We're in an area where we have some freedom of movement, which I'm sure I could get, fined for. But not that we're, doing that much, but, we have a dog, and he's just, he's used to getting walked, as is my wife and me. Mm-hmm. But, I have friends in Panama City, and they're like, it's a jail here. You can't go outside your house.
That's insane. Yeah, we're not that restricted yet. Yeah. But I think last week they made wearing masks out, in public mandatory everywhere in Pennsylvania. And then the governor made a post and said something about, at the end of it, we recommend that you wear masks. And then everyone commented it was confused. Like, is it recommended or is it mandatory? So now I have no idea where we stand. Wow. It's just crazy. It's crazy here. So
I heard from my brother, I think this morning, my younger brother, that Tennessee is recommending the same. I think it's a good idea for anyone listening, by the way. But it's confusing whether
you could be refused service from wearing one, or it's just recommended, and it's very confusing. But yeah, I think Nashville opened on the 27th? Did they open, or today? Did they open today?
I'm not surprised if they did. I haven't talked to my brother and asked him specifics, but we're on like a family text thread that my brothers and I are on, and from the sounds of it, has not really been that restrictive, surprisingly. And I know.
No, I didn't think so.
Yeah, I was telling a friend who's in the Bay Area. He was pretty shocked when I was telling him how much more strict it is here than where he's at, and he's in, like I said, a really hard hit county. But I think that, and I don't know anything about anything, but I think that Panama saw themselves easily going the way of like Italy or Spain, so they just jumped on top of it. And so hopefully, we think we're going to get some good news about kind of easing up of it all. And I suspect things will get eased up before they get worse for you guys. And well, obviously, unless the curve gets unflattened rapidly.
Let's hope that doesn't happen.
Yeah. So you mentioned that doing the videos, the live videos, you mentioned your virtual tip jar and that, and you mentioned saving your life, but that sounded more about actually playing and connecting with people than it had than anything to do with the tip jar. And I hope that you're doing quite well in the tip jar, by the way. But it sounded like it was just really great to be able to play, to serve, to connect. Was that what I was hearing? Was I hearing it correctly?
Oh yeah, 100%.
I wish you would have just said, "No, dude, it's about the money." Are you kidding me?
I mean, the money is a huge help, and I am so grateful to all the people who have tipped me virtually. Like it's paying my bills right now. So I'm so grateful for that. But yeah, the life-saving part of it is just, I didn't realize through all of my overbooking myself with gigs and playing this past year, I think you start to lose sight of why you started doing it. And so it's funny that one thing that I learned during this whole quarantine is that, I really love music. I really love playing for people. And so it's funny when a couple people comment and they're like, "Thank you for doing this. This made my day. It really brightened my day." And I really mean it when I'm like, "Yo, I am enjoying this as much as you are right now." So, yeah, definitely life-saving for me.
That's cool. You're the first person I've really talked to about that aspect of it, and it makes total sense. I have been a little shy about doing such things. I don't have the body of work that you currently have, or that a lot of our other artists do. So I just haven't. And I was gigging, but it's not my the center of my livelihood. And in fact, the break from it was okay for me. It was welcome. I was able to write a single, and so that's kind of been my thing now. So I ordered. You were talking about the expense of putting out a single. I just ordered over $1,000 worth of gear to be able to record just the drums.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
It's so pricey.
I know, unfortunately, and I'm very interested in how to do that stuff. I know a little bit, but anyway, it's going to be fun. And I have a friend who's a recording engineer and producer, so and he's actually collaborating with me, which is, I try not to use the word blessing. I don't know why, but it's kind of a blessing to know something like that. But yeah, thanks for sharing that. I think probably, if I had to guess, most artists who were working in the capacity that you have been and are now shifting to doing things online feel much the same. So I think that's very cool.
Yeah, it is.
Kendal, thank you again for being accessible. Thanks for sharing coffee tips, pancake tips, horror movie tips.
Oh, my pleasure. Anytime. The DMs are open.
That's good. Yes, and you are sending me a movie title, and I think that's it. And I'm going to let you know about the pancake mix.
Boom. That sounds great.
Good talking with you.
Mission accomplished. Yeah, good chatting with you as well. Thanks for having me.
Of course. Hey, thanks again for listening. If you are loving the podcast, please visit unstarvingmusician.com/crowd sponsor to learn about the various ways that you can offer your support. And again, if you're a listener, I consider you a supporter, especially if you shared it with a friend. Thank you. Look for show notes and links to most everything mentioned in this episode at unstarvingmusician.com/podcast. Thanks so much for listening. With a whole lot of gratitude, peace, love, and more cowbell. Hey there, one last thing before you go. Music artists and other creators are always facing hurdles and obstacles, and life, as we know, can be a bit unpredictable to say the least. I'm here to help. Explore the opportunity to work with me in a coaching capacity and to pay only what you can afford. Just go to unstarvingmusician.com/coaching. There's a button there to schedule a 15-minute consult call with me on which you and I will figure out how and if I can help you. If we both feel good about it, we'll make it happen. I'll also answer any questions you have about how it works on the call, including the pay what you can afford thing. Obviously, there's only one of me, so I offer a limited number of slots for Unstarving Musician coaching sessions. So if this sounds like something you can use right now, go to unstarvingmusician.com/coaching to learn more and to get started. Ciao.